How's it going, man? You're having your first bang of the day?
Yeah. Nah, this is a Celsius. Sometimes
Oh, Celsius.
I'll have a Celsius. It's rare, but sometimes they help you get a kick. Usually black coffee is my go-to or some natural stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes you need that quick boost, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially in door-to-door sales,
Mhm.
that's a must, man.
Yeah.
So,
How long you been doing door to door?
oh man. So I've been doing petitioning, which is I did some door-to-door there with petitioning
Okay.
and political door-to-door, and then but I started doing storm restoration, which was a little harder
Mm-hmm.
because you actually got to get a contract signed and stuff like that. So with petitioning, you're still getting name, address, signature, and sometimes date of birth. But
Mm-hmm.
with when you're signing a contract, you're getting more information and stuff. So that was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a cool story. I'll tell it to you right now. So my friend Tim, he was doing storm restoration, storm chasing in Baltimore, and then
Oh,
he,
nice.
yeah, and I was doing a shitty petitioning job in Miami.
Okay.
So I was getting paid like $1.25 per door, like knocking on doors and stuff. And he's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
you could make a lot more money if you just came out here. So I drove to Baltimore from Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and I shadowed him for like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and I modeled him what he did, step by step, from engaging the customer to doing the inspection, and then showing pictures and then signing the contract.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be in door-to-door sales.
Yeah. So
Um,
you got in through a friend essentially.
yeah, through a friend. Yeah, that's the way I'm built. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. My father is a pastor. My
Mm-hmm.
mother was a missionary and a singer. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm built for that type of dynamic, that social dynamic of being in a church,
Yeah.
or like the volunteer type of dynamic where
Yeah.
for example, this is engaging for me. This is stimulating because it's
Mhm.
social. Like, you're a
Yep.
person, I'm a person, human beings. We're experiencing a connectivity, and that's what I'm built for.
Yeah. I think all humans, everything is through relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the world works. Since
Yeah.
it's a transaction, it's an exchange of something. And relationships is one of the biggest way to exchange things. You know, how you're helping each other. And where you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Nice.
Yeah, but the thing is, some people can take like a manual and learn
Hmm.
something super quick and do it,
Yeah.
or like they can spend like hours reading and doing something. For
Hmm.
me, that's so hard. Like, it's so
Hmm.
hard. I'd rather learning from you. Like, let's say
Yeah.
if we're just having a conversation, I'll be picking things up from you during the
Mhm.
conversation. Like, I learn like that from people.
Yeah.
But like, if I were to read a book and study something and learn it, it's hard. It's it's
Yeah.
it's almost
I
impossible
agree.
for me. Yeah. Are you like that too?
Yeah, and I mean, this is breaking up. In school, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really like school because I
Yeah.
couldn't focus. Sitting in class for an hour, listening to a teacher lecture me, that was not the best way for me to retain information and become more knowledgeable. Didn't really work the best for me. What I found more intriguing to me was actually when I started learning science and we were in like anatomy and physiology when we have to do hands-on things to actually learn. You know, you're learning about the body. Are you seeing how different joints move? You're seeing how different muscles do certain things. So hands-on and actively learning, that was the best way for me too. Like I'm actually doing the thing. That's how I learn. If you
Mm.
tell me read this and learn, it's harder for me to do that. But if you tell me, okay, read this and then do this, like apply it to that,
Mm.
right? Because I feel like if you want to get better at something, you actually have to do the thing to get better. Exactly. Just like sales, you want to get better at selling, you got to sell more often, and you would get better on top of
Mm.
practicing. So anything you want to do, you got to be actually doing the thing to get better. That's the only way I think of it.
Okay. And you actually have a program. You help men with that do door to door, right? You have something like that. You have a
Yeah.
okay.
So Originally, my business was just helping door-to-door reps feel and operate better, right? Obviously, if you have more energy, you feel better, you have more confidence, you're going to do better out there in the field. It's about energy. I don't give a fuck about your sales practice, your sales script, your mindset, whatever, reading everything. If you don't have the physical energy to do the
Mm,
work, all the other shit is irrelevant
mm,
because your mind is not clear.
mm.
So you can learn everything else, but if you're a tired motherfucker, how are you going to execute on the things that you're learning
Yeah.
on a consistent basis? But now the business has kind of changed. We're helping all sales pros. So not just door-to-door people, everyone in sales, we're helping them feel and operate better. And we're actually, providing sales training on top of everything. Now I just partnered with one of the companies called Strive 4, right? They do home improvement sales and we're just scaling and growing and providing way more services than just working out. This mindset is everything.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty powerful. Yeah, I remember.
Hmm.
Man, I remember. I was working with this. I did this one like this one off. Like I took this training where they paid for a hotel and everything, and then they would provide leads for it was like up above ground pools. And I remember showing up to this one appointment. I only did one appointment with this company,
Yeah.
and I showed up and I did terrible, horribly. And at the end, I was talking to the homeowner, and he was cool. Like, I guess I made a friend or whatever. One of those like where they say, "Don't make friends because if you make friends,
Yeah.
you make no money." So
Yeah.
I made a friend there. The guy was pretty cool. He knew I did horribly. I knew I did horribly in the presentation. There was no way to
Hmm.
salvage it. And but I remember during the whole presentation, I was unprepared.
Yeah.
And then, but I think based on what you said, the energetic factor,
Yep.
I didn't feel like doing it. I was just doing it because it was my job,
Yep.
So energetically, I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the desire to do it.
Yeah.
And I was unprepared too. But I think
Yeah.
even if you're prepared to do something and you don't have the energy, you're lethargic,
Yeah. Yep.
then it's gonna suck. Your presentation is not. You're not gonna do well, I think.
Exactly. And let's take two people, for example. We got one guy on this end, he's super good at sales. Naturally he just picks it up very well, really good, knows how to sell, right? But he doesn't take care of his health and fitness.
Mm,
But he's a
mm,
fucking sales genius.
mm-hmm.
And then we got this other guy on the side. He's not the best, but he understands, but he takes care of his body, his mind, right? But he's not the best at sales. In a summer sales, who do you think would do better in the whole summer?
Mm, in the summer, I mean, it depends. Like, it really does
Yeah.
depend, because because I've been lethargic and I've done really well
Yep. Yep.
by taking consistent rest at the right
Hmm.
times.
Hmm.
Uh,
Let's just say, let's tweak the question, right? Let's say long term. In a
okay, long term,
long term
yeah,
sales,
energy for
go to real
sure,
quick.
energy, yeah, because you have. I mean, I don't know. There's other factors involved. There
You are
definitely,
right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah. But however, if we were to base it like, well, this person has no energy and this person has more energy. Uh,
Hmm.
During that example, if the person with energy
Hmm.
is consistently learning
Yep.
and improving
Hmm.
and doing it long term and getting
Yep.
better, then yeah,
Hmm.
him, of course, yeah.
And I want to be clear, just because I tell people this too, just because you're in good shape, you look good, you have a six pack, does not mean you're going to sell more. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what it means,
Right.
right? You still have to acquire sales skills. You still have to practice sales. You still have to practice objection handling, understand how to build rapport, understand how to build trust. You still need those skills to sell. I don't give a fuck how good you look. You're still going to need to acquire sales skills to be able to sell consistently,
Mm.
right? But let's say you're already good at selling and you don't take care of your health. Now your potential is actually lower because if you took care of your health, you would be crushing it even more than you are right now.
Mm.
But people feel comfortable because they're already making good money, which is great. Go make the good money. Make the money. I love that. But you could be doing a lot more, right? You could be making more. You could be showing up better for your team. You could be showing up better for your loved ones, the people around you,
Mm,
if you were taking care of your health. That's the ultimate game changer. It's not about the physical body, because the physical body is just a byproduct of you putting in the work. It's about your mental aspect. The fitness stuff is all mental. I
mm,
don't go to the gym because yes, I want to look good. I want to look great. But the most important thing is my mind. How do I show up for other people? How do I serve other people?
mm.
If I don't take care of myself, it's hard for me to serve others.
That includes your spiritual practice. That
Exactly.
includes friends and family, like
Mhm.
being connected. Because sometimes I'm having a shitty week,
Yeah.
and then I'll call my friend or they'll call me, and then
Mhm.
we'll just talk and laugh and stuff. Or I'll do one of these podcasts with somebody, like one of my friends, and like we'll just have fun, like on the phone, and then we'll just
Mhm.
laugh. Like laughing is so important, like laughing
Yeah.
together.
It's connecting.
Yeah,
It,
connecting.
it,
But to
it
your
goes back to,
point, back to your
go
point, I
ahead.
think the core of the energetic factor, like, because you got like also emotional energy, you got
Yeah.
physical energy and mental energy.
Mhm.
Um, there's also like a way.
Mhm.
I drove from Omaha to Florida
Yeah.
just recently. And when
Yeah.
I was in Omaha, I was trying to do restoration, but I really wasn't feeling good. Like my body
Mhm.
was not good. I wasn't eating the best. And then when I came here, I did a cleanse. And then
Okay.
while I was doing that, I was having like onions and garlic. I think that
Mhm.
cleaned me up, and beets and tomato, avocado. Like I did this mix, and I remember while I was doing when I started that, I
Mhm.
felt clear. I
Yeah.
felt good. I didn't feel
Yeah.
so lethargic all day like I did before. So, what
Mhm.
about like cleanses and things like that, or like
Good
just the nutritional aspect of it? Like,
good
how are you on
question.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, good question. And I don't have a problem with cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an addition to what you're already doing.
Right.
But the problem is people don't take care of the health and they want a quick fix. Oh, I'm just gonna go on a 7-day cleanse. And then a couple weeks later, it returns to the same old habits. Oh, I'm just gonna do this diet, low carb, whatever. And then 3 months later, they return to the same old habits. A lot of people are looking for quick fixes instead of just making it a lifestyle, right? If you're taking care of yourself consistently, you don't have to do random cleanses because it's just part of who you are already. At that point, you're just living like a healthy person. You're just doing things that healthy person does,
Mm.
right? It's supposed to be a lifestyle, it's supposed to be an identity, it's supposed to be who you are. Not, oh, it's the seasonal thing. It's summer. I want to get in shape for summer. I have a wedding. I got to get in shape for my wedding. People are trying to get in shape for a specific thing when it's
Mm.
really, bro, just do it all day, every day. And that's just who you are.
Mm.
That's how I teach guys.
Okay. So on that end, cause I've struggled with this a lot.
Mhm.
So cause traveling a lot, driving so much, like going from coast to coast sometimes in my car. Man, so like what's something like okay, so and then what I've been looking for foundationally, something to do foundationally and sustainably, you know?
Yeah.
Like I go to the gym pretty
Yeah.
regularly, and I
Mhm.
work out and try to go in the morning. Most recently, I
Mhm.
said I think the traveling really hurts. It
Yeah.
kind of it kind of hurts the routine aspect of it. So just having a place, I think that's foundational. Like having a place and then living there for a long period of time, which I haven't done. So, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it now.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is I'm going to the beach like almost every morning to do
Yeah.
like a little bit of working out, a little bit of like meditation, jumping in the water first thing.
Mhm.
So that's good. But like, what would you say? Like, okay, foundationally, like something simple. I
Mhm.
mean, getting good sleep is important. But besides that, like, like where do you start your people at? Like, whenever they come to you and they're like, yo, like I'm good in sales, or like I just started, or like I'm in, have you had people like on every
Yeah.
range, like from
Uh,
beginner to
yeah. I'm gonna touch on a couple of things you said because the two most important things I heard you say was systems and structures,
Yeah.
and then routines, right? Salespeople, you can even go with door-to-door people. Most salespeople are constantly on the go,
Yeah.
right? Our job is we gotta we gotta adapt. Sometimes you gotta take calls randomly. Sometimes you gotta handle something that comes out of nowhere. It's just part of the lifestyle, right? And now understanding that means preparing, because if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. If you're a guy that's traveling a lot, right? It probably does not make sense for you to hire an in-person trainer
Mm.
if you know that you travel a lot,
Right.
right? Because when you're traveling, what are you going to do then? Now, if you're traveling, you need to plan a system. What does that mean? I got to prepare. I got to know what I'm eating. I got to know snacks I'm eating, right? You could do things like getting a cooler, a
Mm-hmm.
cold cooler, packing your food in there, using a meal prep service,
Mm.
right? But once you have the systems and structures in place for even when you're traveling, you know what to do when you're traveling, you know how to go about it,
Mm.
you start to understand what you need to do. And long term, every time you travel, it's just a process that you repeat. It's like an SOP. It's the same thing in business. We have SOP, standard operating procedures, for employees to do that. Fitness is the same thing. What I do with my clients, I give them systems and structures for when they're traveling. They just know what to do after they learn. Like, here's what you can do at the airport. Here's what you can do when you're eating out. Here's what you can do when you're on the rush. You have only 10, 15 minutes. Here's a food ideas. Here's a meal plan. Here's whatever they need. I'm teaching them so they can do it for the rest of their life, so they don't have to pay me forever. The point is to understand what you need to do to make it an identity, rather than you keep paying coaches forever. Because once you understand and learn how to do it, it just becomes part of who you are, right?
Mm.
And what I found is when people are the busiest, they actually try to use excuse. I'm way too busy, like it's not right now. But actually, when you're busy and super busy, that's the best time where you need the structures and systems to learn everything. So when you're busy again, you've already got it figured out. You know what you need to do.
Mm.
But people, I'm gonna wait for when things cool down first, and then I'll start my fitness journey. When now is actually the perfect time to go ahead and start your fitness journey. Because when you're not as busy, it makes it easier.
Mm.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh man, so much
Yeah.
here, man.
You unpacked a lot.
Yeah. So, man, I just went into this thing because my one of my good friends, she's a senior, like she's like over 70, but she's
Yeah.
accomplished a lot in her life, and like
Hmm.
I always go to her for advice.
Hmm.
And then we were talking about which I think it ties in good to your programs,
Hmm.
because you're a very religious man, I think.
Hmm.
And she said the importance of integrity
Hmm.
in doing sales and actually doing something that's aligned with you as a person, as who you
Hmm.
are. Have you dealt with that, with alignment with the person? Like, let's say
Yeah.
if they might be doing a sales job that
Yeah.
they're not aligned with, and that's what they're doing
Hmm.
so bad.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with a case like that and then been able to help them through that, or
Are you talking to someone specifically or me myself?
either you or anybody? Just an example. Do you have any examples of that? Because with me, I've jumped from a few companies,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's not the particular position. Sometimes it's the
Yeah.
company. They might be
Yeah.
doing things that are not right, or
Yep. Yep. Yep.
etc.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I actually have. So I'll take a step back and touch on my story a little bit.
Sure.
I really think I started door-to-door sales when I was knocking on people's doors and then selling them on shoveling their snow. So that's really when I started at 13, 12, right? Well, I
Nice.
was going out there and
Snow
getting it on.
shoveler.
Right.
Okay.
It was making money. It was making
Yeah.
like three to $500 a day, right? With my
Nice.
friend.
Nice.
And I've done multiple types of sales, B2B, retail, and the biggest one was retail where I didn't like it. And that's why I felt there was a misalignment,
Okay.
right? And I explained why. Because they were giving me hourly. It started off with you get $10 an hour and then on top of commission. I think that sets the precedent to be more lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I like being in 100% control of my income. What I kill is what I eat. If I
Right.
don't work, I don't eat. But when you have that comfort, oh, I still get the hourly. you're not as driven. You don't have that shark mentality because you know at the end of the day, you're still gonna get paid, which is okay. But I'm just the type of person where, nah, man, I don't want your hourly. I want all commission because that's
Mm.
gonna cause me to work harder. So when
Right,
I'm in a job where it's like you're giving me hourly, that's not an alignment because it feels like I'm not as much control
right.
as I should be. So that's what I would say. That's an experience where I was like, ah, I don't want hourly.
Yeah,
Retail, I don't want
I'm with
hourly.
you. I'm with you. Yeah, they ruined me. Like I'm ruined. Like from because when I was doing petitions, like
Yeah.
it was get paid per signature. So I'm like, okay, so I can maximize this a lot. And then
Hmm.
when I was doing door to door for storm restoration, I got paid per
Hmm.
contract that I signed.
Hmm.
Now I can't go back to an hourly job because I would just like my mind wouldn't like my body, my mind, my soul.
Yeah.
I would feel like get me out of here,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
get me
It's a
out of here
comfort thing.
now. Yeah, I can't. I'm not comfortable in that environment. You know,
Hmm.
sit there, and then just like talk to people from the thing. You know, I can do
Yeah.
that. I can do that for a day, but I
Yeah.
can't do that long term.
Yeah. It's tricky because some people need the comfort,
Yeah.
I guess. Some people need the comfort. And I believe 9 to 5, in a way, it's modern day slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're getting told what time you come into work, what time you clock out, what time you can take your lunch break. Here's when you can travel. If you have to travel, you want to do something, you have to ask for permission, right? But when
Right.
you're your own boss, it's on your time. You don't want to work? Cool. You're not going to make money then,
Right.
right?
Right.
You want to work? Okay, cool. You make as much money as you decide to work.
That's you know what that's really interesting that we hit this point here because you know like I do all these podcasts randomly. I'm like, hey, who's available? Let's do this. You know, whatever. Especially that I just started, but
Hmm.
man, I just started working for this company and they provide all the leads, but they made me choose a schedule. They
Yeah.
said you either get 9 to 5 or
Hmm.
11 to 7, and then
Hmm.
at that point that bothers me so much. And then
Yeah.
they're really emphasizing during the training, they're really emphasizing to not miss the leads, number one, or they'll
Yeah.
fire you. And number
Hmm.
two, like to give them a notice, like a 24 48 hour notice
Hmm.
before choosing the schedule and
Yeah.
letting them the schedule, and they want you to work this whole 10 hours a day getting the leads. And I'm like, that bothers me so much because they're in control of my time, not me.
Yeah.
You
That's the
know,
biggest.
so even though it's like sales or whatever, they're providing the leads, yeah, and it costs them money, but
Hmm.
I think I'd much rather be free and knock on doors
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
an end, you know. So it is
I
convenient that they have leads, but I would rather take 2 leads a day in the
hmm.
evening and then
Hmm.
knock doors the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know.
And I think also sorry, someone's calling me.
Oh yeah,
No, you're good. Were you finished on that point? Or you?
yeah. That was it. Yeah,
And no, that
it's
makes
just really bothering me because I just took this whole training for
yeah.
4 days,
Hmm.
and it's a good company. It's got good products and stuff.
Hmm.
It's a little bit too salesy for me because they give you this whole elaborate presentation like a timeshare on like like
Yeah.
baits and switches and closes and stuff, which is great training, but I think back to the integrity factor.
Yeah.
Why do we have to be so elaborate with all these things when we can just find the needs, pitch them.
Yeah.
Like I can still do
Hmm.
closes and stuff like that, but you have to do this whole manipulative thing from beginning to end. And they said it takes about 2.5 hours, and I'm like, do I want
What
to
kind of sales
learn?
is this?
It's energy efficiency sales.
Energy solar or no, not solar?
No, so we do solar, but energy efficiency. So first you do AC insulation, like, you know what I mean?
Ah.
So you're trying to. So the whole pitch is similar to the solar pitch, where you're pitching them on a 10-year savings on their
Yeah.
electric bill. But before we pitch solar, we pitch like, let's get a new AC, let's get your bill down, and then after that, then we can pitch solar as well, but
Gotcha.
not starting out. So we do like the efficiency first, like because most people can save a lot of money just on their AC. If they get an efficient AC, they can save a
Yeah.
lot of money on their home bill.
Yeah.
So I understand that. That's a good
Hmm.
selling point, and
Hmm.
that's integrity. I can tell them with 100% certainty. Look, if you just like get this AC, change it out, get
Yeah.
insulation so it cools and stuff like that. I can say that, but then they want me to do like this whole presentation, like switches and like pretend like I'm
Yeah.
not really selling them, like I'm just doing like an evaluation, like pretending
Yeah.
this and that. And I'm like, I don't know.
It's
Uh,
weird.
it seems a little weird, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And sales is interesting. I love it because too, first there has to be a need for it, obviously. I don't think it's something where you have to manipulate people into buying. If you
right,
have to do that, that's not really selling
right,
because what you're really doing with sales is you're uncovering, is there a need for this?
right,
Showing them that they have a problem and that you can solve it, right? And with questions, if I feel like I can manipulate somebody to get a sale, yeah, I'm gonna feel weird about that. And if it doesn't feel right, again, misalignment, right? If
right,
you're somebody that, let's use an example. If you're somebody that says you value fitness, you love fitness, you preach fitness, and you have a team that you preach fitness to, and then they look at you, you're not a fit guy, you don't go to the gym, misalignment.
yeah,
Right. So if you say you're a man of integrity, you like sales, you like to do things like that, and then you go get a job where you're in a position where you feel like you're manipulating people and you have to get them to get in a sale, misalignment. And you're not
misalignment,
going to feel right. Even though you make the money, at the end of the day, sleeping at night might not be the best because in the back of your head, you're probably like, did I really do good to the world? I made money, but do you want dirty money or do you want, money where you feel like, damn, I really helped this person out? Because that's what sales is about.
right,
Helping somebody, leaving the conversation, leaving the sale, knowing that, wow, I had a great conversation. I provided a good service. This person needed my help, and I really helped them in the specific area they need. It's about helping and serving. That's
right.
really what sales is, rather than manipulation.
Right. And on one end, I think that the script is important in the
Yeah.
beginning, so you can
Hmm.
learn why
Hmm.
why it works and how to explain things. But
Hmm.
then I think eventually you
Hmm.
have to deviate from the script,
Absolutely.
and then because I'm more of a relationship guy, so it's like, hey,
Yeah.
look, I can do this for you, this and this and this and this, and this is how we're gonna do it, and this is
Hmm.
why we're gonna do it. And
Hmm.
then, do you understand,
Yeah.
the savings that you can have?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Over 10 years and blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. Like, let's get you signed up. Let's do this, right?
Yeah.
And then we can still do it close,
Yeah.
but like like I guess in a way it's like, okay, that's his way of getting all the sales that he does.
Yeah.
I can take the essence of the
Yeah.
explanation and
Hmm.
and all that, and then come up with my presentation.
Yep.
It fits my personality because I don't want to change my whole personality just to be successful at this job. I'm not gonna be able to live with myself, like you said. It's gonna be
Yeah.
hard to sleep at night.
Yeah. And sales, it's like we learn from so many different people, right? You got people who are, I've been teaching sales and learning sales for a long time. So,
Mm.
you're learning from Zig Ziglar,
Yeah,
Brian Tracy, Andy
yeah,
Elliott, Jeremy Minor, all these people that you're picking up things for. I'm not going to sell like Andy. I'm not going to sell like Jeremy. I'm not going to sell like Brian, but I'm picking up everything from them and then making it my own. The script is just the format. A lot of
mm.
people get this wrong with sales where they just want to be so freaking scripted like a damn robot. You
Yeah,
can't go into a sales conversation and be like, cool, I'm going to say this, 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 and this. Yes, you have the format for the script, but you got to be human. There's going to be times where you're going to have to ask a question that's not on the script
right.
because it's a human response, right? But once you know your script,
Mm.
then you know how to weave in and out, talk about certain things, but still staying on the same path. If you don't know your script, you're on the sales call or you're on the doors, or you're on the presentation, you're thinking of what you have to say. So that takes away from being in the present moment with the client and actually sitting there focusing and understanding and listening to them because you're freaking sitting there thinking about, damn, what am I going to say next? Damn, how am I going to handle this objection when you should have already known how you're going to do all that?
That's true. That's true. And then I'll tell you what, man, because like learning a script, it crosses over from sales to acting. So I
Yeah.
really like acting techniques like Meissner, repetition exercise and stuff,
Mhm.
because it allows you to get into the state of like getting into a
Yep.
character. So I've been experimenting with those things, but let's talk about how when you're reading a script and learning a script, because this
Mhm.
is a good point right here. When you're learning a script, sometimes it could feel awkward, but at the end, like
Yeah.
it is important to know. Okay,
Mhm.
what is the points? Like similar to I did
Yeah.
like pickup for a while too. So you learn like this script like to pick up a girl. So it's
Yeah.
like when you have like points of like you have like attraction, comfort, seduction, and stuff like that. It's very
Mhm.
similar. So you have like you engage the customer, then
Yeah.
you build comfort, and then at the end you close. You know, so
Mhm.
but then you got to know, okay, at what point are they feeling a certain way and how to but then if you don't know what you're saying or how to handle those things, and the script provides that for you. So let's talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit. Like
Yeah.
how, like when it comes to learning a script, do you coach people on that too? Like
Yeah.
learning and mastering a script. Oh, mastery, script mastery. Let's talk about
I,
that.
I I coach people on that, and I tell them the easiest way to master a script, once you go and get in a sales job, what do you do? You go through the whole process and then you get a script, right? And what I did anytime I've gotten scripts was I literally read the hell out of it or wrote it down multiple times,
Mm-hmm.
practiced it, friends, family members, and I even recorded myself saying the whole script, and I will listen to it in the car as I'm driving, or I'll listen to it in the gym,
Mm.
right? And it just keeps getting embedded in my head. It takes about 2 weeks if you're writing, listen to the script, writing, listen to it, right? Changing words, how I might get a script and I might change a few words because I don't like that. It's not how I say things. I'm not changing the format. I'm just changing the words
The
to make it
words.
sound like Kelvin. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I tell people read the hell out of the script, record yourself saying it, and listen to it over again and practice wherever you go, and then get it embedded in your head so you can be more present, right? So you can actually listen. Listening is the most important thing in sales,
Mm.
right? And so you need to talk less, listen more. And if you got the script mastered, you're not even thinking about the script. You already know where to go. And now you're just focusing on the prospect that's in front of you, listening and understanding their needs to be able to help them solve their problem.
Now we're in the kitchen cooking, man. We're cooking in
We're
the
cooking.
kitchen.
We're cooking up that heat right here. Cooking up that. We give you guys fire right now. That's on fire right now.
We're cooking.
So,
So, wow. Okay. So learning.
yeah.
Okay, what about that awkwardness, right? Because when you first, just similar, I think, even in acting as well, like you have
Yeah.
to, when you first learning a script, you gotta read it, you gotta memorize it first, and then in the beginning, it feels weird because you might not say those words like you said. So how do you justify that to yourself when you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I gotta learn these words. These words are important. I just gotta learn it and then figure out the essence of it.
Yeah.
Eventually I can change it a little bit. I can change the words to make it sound like me. But in the beginning,
Yeah.
that's the hard part. So how do you do
Yeah.
that?
Well, you just got to do it, right? Like you literally just have to read, like you get the format, you have to keep saying it, keep reading it, keep practicing, keep role playing, keep selling. Because how do you get good at something? If I want to get good at squats, what do I got to do? Do more squats, do more reps. If you want to get good at sales, more repetition. That's the only way you get good at something. You do the specific thing over and over and over again, right? So the awkwardness is going to be there. You got to understand that it's part of the process.
Hmm.
Everyone sucked at something. You're not just going to start something and be naturally good, right?
Hmm.
Some people might have skills where they pick up things faster, but you have to suck first
Hmm.
to be able to get good. So you have to accept that you're not good and then do the work, do the reps, and then get better.
Mm,
And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be awkward. It's part of the process of learning, right? That's learning. You're going
mm,
to suck. You're going to fail. You're going to, oh, I need to do this better. You're going to lose this. I wouldn't say lose it. Yeah, probably lose a sale, but then you're going to learn, okay, cool. What could I have done better in that presentation? What could I have done better in that pitch? How could I have handled my objection better? Right?
mm.
So it's all reps, and then analyzation of the reps, which is
Wow.
why I like recording your sales calls or Zero does this really well. They have a thing where they have their reps they're knocking doors. They have something that records the whole call and it gets analyzed later on. And then you can see pinpoint in your conversation, this is where I need to improve. This is where I'm strong at, and then make changes. So
Mm.
just realize that you're gonna suck and you have to accept it and then you have to do the work to get better.
Which brings me to affirmations somehow, because it
Ooh.
reminds me of affirmations. You know how when you do affirmations,
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't feel good because your state of mind is it doesn't feel good. That's the
Yeah.
reason you do affirmations. Sometimes you want to get yourself to a good state. I realized like affirmations, I
Hmm.
I compare them to push-ups or sit-ups
Yeah.
or like any type of rep workout. It's
Hmm.
like a workout for your mind.
Hmm.
Just as you would do a workout for your body, you do a workout
Hmm.
for your mind. Like when you say like I like myself, I love myself, I like my job, I like do all
Yeah.
these things. It might not feel right just like a
Hmm.
script would, but it's helping you. It's really helping you because you're conditioning your brain.
Hmm.
So I think similarly when you're reading a script, you're
Yeah.
conditioning yourself
Hmm.
to say the right things that you need to say to get the
Yeah.
sale, just as in affirmations, you're conditioning yourself
Yeah.
to do the right things or to be the right person.
Yeah. And I get that analogy
Hmm.
and it makes sense,
Right.
right? But the thing with affirmations is, let's say I am not doing the work on personal development because we know the best way to get successful is personal development. That's
Yes.
how you're going to track what you want, right?
Yes.
So if you're not doing the work on personal development, you can say all the damn affirmations you want, but deep down in your mind, you know you're lying to yourself because you're not taking the action anyways.
Right.
If I'm working to become better spiritually, emotionally, and doing the actually deep work to heal myself,
Mm.
on top of that, the affirmations can help because I'm moving in the right direction. But if I'm not doing any work, I'm just sitting here saying affirmations, my brain is good. I'm gonna know I'm lying to myself. And no matter what affirmations I do, it's not gonna work because I'm not even working on myself to become the person that I'm saying these things to.
Right.
Right? And let's tie back into the script. Cool. You're conditioning yourself, given that you're reading the script, doing the role plays, consistently practicing, because you're doing the work. You're act with that, you're actually doing the freaking work, right? And you can see the improvements over time.
Mm.
If you're just saying affirmations, you're not doing the personal development work, it's not going to mean anything.
Mm.
Affirmations, in addition, on top of working on yourself, it's not the thing that just fixes you because you're just telling yourself, I'm the man, I'm good at sales, I'm so great at sales, I'm so powerful. But are you practicing sales on a daily basis?
Mm.
Are you actually selling? Right?
Mm.
That's the alignment there too.
Wow. Okay, that's powerful. Which brings me to wow. I was gonna. Who? Where was I going with this? I had a thing just now.
Yeah.
So okay. So we're affirmations,
Hmm.
conditioning, script. Oh, work. Like
Work.
the concept of work, right? It's actually doing stuff that you really don't want to do.
Interesting.
You don't want to do it essentially.
Hmm.
Like you don't probably don't feel like doing it sometimes. Sometimes you do, right? But I think work it's because you know it's at work and play, right? Play is something you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, but then work, I don't know. How do you identify that? Because for me, like
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a blurry line. It can get blurry like when you're enjoying your
Mhm.
work and now it becomes play. But then
Yeah.
so how do you feel about that dichotomy between work and play?
Hmm.
And you know, how do you enjoy your job more? But then how do
Yeah.
you get to work even when you're not enjoying it? Because that also
Yeah.
ties into learning a script, which is work.
Yeah. So, great question. Two things. We've got discipline and then we have motivation,
Mm,
right? Motivation is just a feeling that anyone can get in an instant moment. doesn't really last.
Mm.
Nobody's motivated all the time. It's freaking impossible. Who the hell is motivated every single day, 24/7?
Tony
Nobody.
Robbins.
Right? Tony Robbins is motivated, but he's not motivated all the damn time, I'm sure. Right?
It damn sure seems like
Of
it.
course, it's gonna seem like the social media is when you don't see the powerful stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
sure Tony had to be like, damn, I don't feel like doing this today, but I gotta do it anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
building his business, building his life. So it
Yeah.
takes us to the point of discipline,
Mm.
which is doing something regardless of how you feel or not.
Mm.
And discipline is just like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. For example, if I don't feel like going to the gym and I consistently make myself go to the gym when I don't feel like it,
Mm.
each time I'm doing that, I'm strengthening my discipline muscle. And then it becomes easier. So next time, over time, when I don't feel like going to the gym, I'm just gonna go because
Mm.
I've conditioned my brain to go regardless of whether I'm motivated or not. Right. And when we tie this into the work, people say, love what you do, and you never work a day in your life. That is actually bullshit because I love what I do. I love helping people,
Mm-hmm.
but there's things in my business that I don't feel like doing. I don't feel like doing back end stuff.
Mm.
Sometimes I don't feel like doing lead gen,
Mm.
right? Sometimes I don't feel like doing a coaching call, but I know I have to do it in order to serve others and grow. I have to discipline myself to do it regardless. And there's times where I'm really enjoying work. There's times where maybe I'm not enjoying work, but I'm still doing what I need to do regardless because I know the intention of why I'm doing it, right? So you can enjoy work, enjoy what you do, but it's not something that's going to be fun all the time. Every single area of work you do is so fun. It could be,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure any successful person can tell you that there's a bunch of times where they don't feel like doing anything in their business or don't feel like doing a certain thing, but they still do it anyways.
Mm.
And that comes from the discipline. The more you do that, the more you do that, the doing the work becomes irrelevant. How you feel becomes irrelevant to the work.
Okay.
The feelings don't matter at that point because you're just doing what you need to do to get where you want to be. You either make the sacrifice or you don't. People want to accomplish goals, but are you willing to pay the price tag for the goal? There's a price tag for every goal. If you don't
Mm.
want to do work and be disciplined to get to the goal, then you got to change your goals. Go work on something else. Stop saying that I want to do this and be a millionaire and do all this stuff, but you got to consistently align yourself and do things that millionaires do in order to get to where you want to get to.
Right. Okay. Okay. So then, what is your take on motivational priming? Two, tricking yourself. Because
Yep.
sometimes I feel like I have to trick myself in order to get myself to do certain things. Okay, okay.
Yep.
And then, for example, because Tony Robbins basically that's, I think to an extent that's why he relies on. Like he does his
Yeah.
motivational priming every single morning,
Yep.
and then he can sustain that state over the
Hmm.
whole day, and then he can do like be on stage at a high energy level
Yeah.
for like 13 hours,
Yep.
but now he's getting old, so he's less and less, he's cut down his hours and stuff, like
Hmm.
now he doesn't do like the whole like 7-day events or whatever. He'll do like
Yeah.
one day, then he'll do like another speaker, or
Yeah.
sometimes we'll have screens on TV, like screens do the whole thing. But yeah, so motivational priming and then tricking
Hmm.
yourself,
Yeah.
and then how sustainable is it, and how can you get, like, let's say, move away from that eventually?
Yeah.
Once you develop like something sustainable, like a routine.
I love this question. And it honestly really ties up into the last thing you just said, routines, because that's going to dictate your success. You
Mm-hmm.
said Tony Robbins does motivational priming, whatever he does every single morning, right? What is that? A freaking routine that he does,
Mm.
and he doesn't miss on. So it's less about the motivational priming, more so about your routine. Because once you have routine, things that you do every day, it's non-negotiable. It becomes who you are. You don't have to think about it. That's how you get out of it because you've been doing it for so long. Like, for example, let's say your body is just you wake up at 6 a.m. every day for for the last 3 months. At some point, you won't even need to set your alarm. Your body's just gonna naturally wake up at 6. I know people have experienced that.
Yeah.
Your body just wakes up at that time because you've conditioned your body to wake up at that time by doing what? By creating discipline in your routine.
Mm,
And then it becomes part of who you are.
mm.
So again, fuck the motivation, respectively. It's discipline plus routines.
Right.
Discipline the routines. That's going to get you successful.
Mm.
Motivation is just it's just there. It's something that can get you to take action, but it's not going to sustain you to get to your goals. Discipline is going to sustain you to get to your goals. You can ask anybody successful in the freaking world. It takes discipline. You can Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, all the best sports players, they say the same thing. Cristiano Ronaldo, discipline, discipline, discipline,
Mm.
right? Discipline helps you cut out distractions so you can focus on the mission. You got to be disciplined in your dating life. You got to be disciplined in your spiritual life. You got to be disciplined in your emotional life. You got to be disciplined in your physical life. That's like the one thing that in any area of your life, you're going to need discipline in order to get where you want to get.
Mm. Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. Here it is. Mindfulness versus mindlessness. Because
Ooh,
you can get to a point of, how you
yeah.
have like the competency chart where you're like consciously incompetent or like consciously
Yeah.
competent, and then at the
The,
end
the
you
four
become,
stages of confidence you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. At the end, you become like unconsciously competent, where you're
Yep.
doing things you don't even know. Like driving a
Yep.
car, you can get on your phone, like you could do everything, and then like
Yep.
you're not gonna crash a car because like you're just unconsciously competent.
Hmm.
When you're unconsciously competent, sometimes you can drift into mindlessness when you're
Yeah.
doing stuff, even in sales, even in connecting
Hmm.
with people. Because when you develop a routine of like influencing people, it can become supernatural. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that line there, where like,
Yeah.
because I've definitely blurred it and crossed it in the past, and I'm learning how to be more mindful about things now, but I still I like this fact that I can be mindless in something and then influence somebody as well,
Yeah.
and not have to even think about it. But
Yeah.
also you got to think that's just this is a person, so
Yeah.
so like I don't want to mindlessly influence people because I want to give them that respect now that I have these skills. I want to give
Yeah.
them the respect of like being there in the moment with them and present also. So what do you think
Yeah.
about that part?
Great. That's a good question. I think it comes with intention, and then you can throw listening and creativity into there. So
Mm,
once you're mindful, most of the time you have an intention because you're mindful about the things that you're about to do. There's an intention behind what you're actually going to do,
mm,
right? But I think when you're mindlessness, it also allows room for growth and creativity. Because if you're mindless, you make a mistake, you get to look at that mistake as an opportunity to correct yourself and get better. That actually gives you an opportunity to think outside the box on how to get better, how to improve the situation.
mm,
So I think the two work together. It can both help because when you're more mindful, you have intention, and you can listen more to others too. But also you can be mindless by having that creativity to help you. Let's say, for example, a sales call. I have this script of how I do something. I'm super mindful about how I'm going to do the call. I'm listening, I'm understanding, right? But if I just stay on that, oh, this is how I'm going to do the call, this is how I do everything, and then I get maybe an objection I've never heard before, and then I hear prospects say something they've never said before, that could throw me off guard because I'm not prepared. I'm just like, I wanted the call to go like this. These are the questions I was thinking about asking. But I think with mindlessness, you could be more creative. If you hear something you've never said, based on your intention and understanding, you can respond in a creative way that was never in the script,
mm,
right?
mm,
So I think you can use both in a way.
mm. I agree, and I definitely like it. Like, cause for example, let's say like when you're vibing with someone, like let's say with a girl or something, when you're
Mhm.
vibing, like you don't have to really think about it. Like it just kind of flows. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how I like my interactions to go, because if you're like constantly in your head, so that's a really good dichotomy to explore, like a good paradox,
Mhm.
because you have like on one end like you have like mindfulness where you're thinking about stuff step by step and like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm doing this and this and this, and then mindlessness, and then also like I remember my sensei used to say, "Hey Josias, like you're thinking too much about shit. Like just be,
Yeah.
just
Just
be,
do.
just do. Like
Yeah.
like what are you? Why are you overthinking all this stuff? So like sometimes when we're I guess we're trying to be mindful,
Hmm.
then I think we can get to a point of like over overdoing it where like it's like okay like let's be okay with whatever outcome and
Yeah.
like let's just be and let's just let it go like whatever
Yeah.
happens happens, you know what I'm saying? There's so that's a really good point to explore there, man. I just
Yeah. I think it comes with controlling what you can control,
mm-hmm.
because if it's not like I'm just letting things be. If I control everything I can control on my end, my energy, my state, I'm prepared, right? And things happen. I'm not gonna be so worried about what happened over there because it wasn't in my control. Now I get to decide how I react to the situation. I get to decide how I respond
Mm.
to it, right? And that's something I can control, not what someone else. You can never control. Well, in sales, you can actually persuade them and get them to think how you think, but you can't control what they're gonna do. You
Mm.
can only control how you're gonna respond, the questions you're gonna ask, how you're gonna listen. That's what you need to focus on. I think a lot of times when people are thinking too much, they're getting analysis by paralysis. They're just thinking so much instead of just freaking doing, right?
Mm.
It's like when someone says, "I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna start a company. I'm gonna do this," and they never started. They just keep talking because they're just thinking. They're just thinking rather than just start with what you have and just freaking do, and you learn as you go on. All
Mm.
right. So more doing, you're gonna get better from actually just taking action and freaking doing than sitting and thinking so much about what you have to do. Just do the thing
Right, right.
and then figure it out as you go.
Yeah, so it's that brings me to like mental fatigue, like
Hmm.
decision fatigue, and
Hmm.
also like emotional fatigue. Like
Yeah.
you can like overthinking. Like so for me, that's a big problem because if I'm like having to figure out like you know how you do math like in
Hmm.
school, like it's like you're like oh I need to take a nap now. That's too much thinking. Like that's
Yeah.
how I feel a lot of the times if I have to like think about things so much, you know.
Mhm.
So that's why I like to relax a lot. But like I think also then back to the energy point in the beginning, you know,
Mhm.
like if you have like the right nutrition in your body, that becomes easier to do.
Yeah.
And so then there becomes like a like another type of like parallel there between like being like let's say mindlessly doing something productive and then
Hmm.
also like problem solving skills where you're like
Yeah.
problem solving like objection handling, like you know like let's say like you get a flat tire in the middle of the
Yeah.
day, you know whatever, you can't drive to your appointment, now what, you
Mhm.
know, now you got to
Yeah.
problem solve, you got to think okay what do I do now, like you can't just
Yeah.
okay
Yeah. I'm call
you know
fucking Uber.
yeah
I gotta leave my. You think I'm gonna miss my appointment? I'm gonna leave the car here. Call the cops. Hey, come check my car. I'm calling an Uber to my appointment. I'll be back.
I did that one day. I have
Yeah.
I actually I blew my engine. I was driving
Yeah.
I had a Mini Cooper. It was one of the old ones, right? So that they weren't very fast. So I
Yeah.
was going 90 all the way to this appointment. It was like an hour and a half away. And then and then once I got to the exit,
Yeah.
right before the engine stopped, it just shut down. I was able to
Yeah.
park it, but
Hmm.
then I couldn't get to the appointment now. The engine blew. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm calling the insurance. I'm trying to do this and that. And then I'm like, okay, well, before I do that, I gotta leave the car. I'm gonna get to the appointment. I called an
Yeah.
Uber to get to the appointment, and then I
Hmm.
called an Uber back to the car. It
Did you
was a
close
waste.
it?
It was a fucking waste of time
But
because the guy like wind up getting like it was a storm chasing like a storm restoration. So the guy
yeah.
got the insurance company like undersold me and got them a roofer, and then he's like I'm gonna go with their
Yeah.
contractor, and I'm like
Yeah.
fuck, I just blew my engine. I just got an
Hmm.
Uber just to get to your house, like
Hmm.
commitment. and then I get an Uber back. So I probably
Yeah.
that whole appointment, that one appointment,
Hmm.
probably cost me around like 3 grand,
Damn.
just in itself. And then
Yeah.
and then he's not even like wanting to do the business with
Yeah.
me.
And
So yeah,
I want to stay on the main point
yeah,
because that's definitely, if I do that and then I don't close, I'm just be like, fuck. All right.
yeah,
And then you're like, damn, I did all this, I still didn't close. What the hell?
yeah.
I get that. But I want to stay on the positive aspect of it, of being able to think quickly on your feet. I
Okay,
think that's what separates the top reps from the average people. You know what I mean? Some people in this situation just like, fuck it, but my car is done. Fuck the shit. I'm going home. Like
yeah,
I'm done for the day or whatever. Their mindset's like, damn, they're not everything's just freaking negative for them because of this one thing that happened in 2 hours of your day when you still have 16 hours of the day left to make an impact.
yeah,
So the thing is, it's the mindset. What it happens, could you control your car, tire or engine fucking up? Probably not. But what you do going forward, that's what's going to dictate the rest of your day,
right,
right? So it's just a mindset that you have, the perspective, how you're looking at things. When things happen, it's actually neutral. When something happens in life, it's actually neutral. The
that's true.
lens you're looking at it, it's what decide it if it's a negative or a positive. Let's say I miss a plane. And I'm like, you know what? I missed my plane. It's all good. I get to do work now in the airport. I get to do some work. Tomorrow I catch my flight. I'm good. But
Yeah,
if I miss my flight, I'm like, God damn it. I hate life. I hate everything. This is always happening to me. Why is this always happening to me? Now I'm just negative. I'm a neg ball. My
yeah,
energy's not radiating positivity, right?
yeah,
And then who am I killing? Myself at the end of the day.
right, right. I'm laughing because like you just reminded me, like after that happened, like
Yeah.
I didn't have a car, so
Yeah.
I literally I took my ladder, my accordion
Mhm.
ladder, and
Mhm.
I
Yeah. What
I
happened?
took my ladder and I
Yeah.
walked to the nearest neighborhood to knock on
Uh-huh.
doors with my ladder. So then
You gotta do what you gotta do, bro.
I was like, man, okay. So because I was listening to Tony Robbins all the way to
Uh-huh.
the appointment. So once that happened, I'm like, fuck. I don't remember if David Goggins was out by the time, but I was in the mindset of who's gonna carry the boats, and I took the fucking ladder, and then I took it
Yeah.
with me, and then I walk into the nearest neighborhood. It took me like probably around 20-25 minutes to get to the neighborhood, and then I
Yeah.
walked in the neighborhood, and then I would just like lay my ladder down on the grass, and then I would go
Yeah.
knock on the door, and then I would do the pitch. I was like, hey, I'm doing an inspection, in
Yeah.
the neighborhood, blah blah blah, for the storms, and then I remember this one homeowner. He's like, oh sure, no worries, do the inspection. I did it. He came outside. I'm like, there's not much we could do here, da da da. But like, he's like, get the fuck off my roof.
It'd be like that. You have rude. That's part of the job. I know damn well we've all experienced rude homeowners,
Yeah,
but I think that's what makes door to door beautiful though, because it makes you tougher. It makes you mentally tougher. I think it's the biggest thing to teach you resilience.
mm,
And we have to be, I think a lot of reps are a little bit crazy and insane in some way, shape, or form.
yes,
Because to constantly go out there, eat shit, and then wake up the next day and be like, you know what? I want to do this again. You got to be crazy in some way, right?
yeah,
And that's the resilience that you get from doing sales in general, rejection all the time, but still waking up the next day and be like, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna still go ahead and do it again. Rejection, rejection, still push through, right? It
a lot of
ultimately
people
makes you
can't handle it. They can't handle it.
nope. I tell people a lot of time, man, the door to door, it's not for everyone. Sales is not for everybody because if you can't take rejection, you're gonna crumble so quickly, man. Like
Mm,
you're gonna hear the door to door where you can get a dog chase you, where you can get a homeowner curse you out. I've been called the N-word, and
mm,
I smiled and I kept going, literally, because I knew in my head after I got over the little fear and anxiety phase when I started doing door to door, it was whatever because I knew at the end the worst thing a homeowner could possibly say is like no. At the end of the day, they don't want my service, y'all, whatever. Okay, cool. I know you are just projecting what's going on in your life. It's not personal. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna take it personal.
that's true.
You something happened and now you're projecting it onto me. No worries, sir. I hope you have a blessed day. And then I keep my smile, I keep my energy, and I don't take that bad negative energy and take it on to the next door. A lot of people can't do that. You got to be
Mm,
quick to realize, oh, okay, have a next day. God bless you. Boom, next door, new energy. Because if you carry that energy, it's not going to be too good for you, brother. You have to be able to reset super quickly, you know?
mm. Which brings me to the point of like emotions. So emotional
Oh,
resiliency, emotional maintenance, and then
yes.
also like emotional flexibility. Shit, man, like when you're facing like negative emotions from rejection or harshness, or just like plain like ugliness from another person, like there's a lot there. So we're looking at like emotional intelligence. You got to be intelligent emotionally, and then like also like there's also emotional fitness that you have to
Yeah.
exercise, because
Hmm.
like somebody calls you the N word or like tells you to fuck off, you're like, oh, whoa,
Yeah.
oh my god. I was like, why you're being so, oh, you're like, all these
Yeah.
things like happen. So let's talk about that in a minute. Like, if you gotta, especially like, I would love to hear a story there on that. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah. No
what.
worries. This is cool. I love emotional regulation. I would put it into
Regulation, yes, there you go, yes. Emotional
I,
regulation and maintenance.
yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
so big. I couldn't even be able to be in the position I am in without that. And working with my mindset and performance coach, which have helped me heal and understand that every decision we freaking make is based on an emotion that we're feeling. But we're in a world and society where they tell men you're not really supposed to feel emotion. It was projected that we're not supposed to cry, we're not supposed to express ourselves in this way. But the thing is, being vulnerable and expressing yourself, not in a way that you need sympathy or you're begging people to help you. It's just you actually know how to express yourself, feel what you feel, and move on. That's way more powerful as a man, right? So understanding how, I think, okay, so understanding how to regulate your emotions is going to be a game changer in how to dictate your actions
Mm.
because your emotion is already dictating your action. Anything you do is based off the emotion you're feeling at the time you made the decision. For example, if I don't feel like going to the gym, if I don't go to the gym, it first came with a thought, feeling, right? I thought I don't really feel like go to the gym. The feeling was I'm lazy and unmotivated. That lazy and unmotivated feeling caused me not to take any action and go to the gym. But if I'm
Mm.
feeling great, I'm feeling motivated, which is the feeling, that
Right.
motivated feeling is going to cause me to take action. So we related back to being in door-to-door sales. You got to be able to, whatever is, regulate your emotions, whether it's at nighttime, once you're done, decompressing, writing down the positives for the day, the negatives, so how are you going to do better tomorrow, right? Or whether it's on the doors and something happens, knowing how to be like, okay, cool. Let me just take a second. Even if I know like the homeowner said something wild to me, and I don't want to take, oh, new scene. I don't want to carry that energy to the next door. I might take like 3 minutes and be like, okay, well, let me think this through real quick. Let me regulate my emotions. And
Yeah.
here's a trick my mentor told me. Ask why 5 times. Let's say a
Mm.
homeowner yells at you, calls me the N word, and then I'm go, cool. Before I go to the next, let me take a second. Well, why did he call me that?
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe he's racist. Why is
Mm.
he racist? I don't know. I don't know his experience. Maybe something happened, you know? Maybe the family passed it down. Well, why did it pass it down? Well, maybe because of this. Then I get to the real issue. It's like, it's not personal. That's just his problem. Why am I letting someone's projection affect my energy?
Mm.
Right. So one of the tactics is ask yourself why 5 times, and you really get to the root cause of the issue. A lot of things. And I'll give another example. Like, let's say I don't really feel like doing work. I can sit here and ask myself, well, why don't you feel like doing work? Oh,
Mm.
Kelvin, you feel overwhelmed. Why do you feel overwhelmed? Oh, because you have all these things on your plate you haven't tackled. Why haven't you tackled it? Because you haven't scheduled anything and broken it down. So what do you need to do, Kelvin? Oh, you need to go and schedule and break down the task in order to get it completed.
Mm.
Right? You see how I get to the real cause of why I'm actually feeling what I'm feeling? But
Yeah.
what do most people do? They neglect it. They put it in the back of mind. They keep putting it in the back of mind until they freaking explode or they can't handle anything anymore. Right? So that's what I say on, being able to regulate emotions and understanding that you can really
I like
make
that. I like
smarter
that. Just
decisions.
ask yourself why 5 times. That's good. That's gold, man. That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, you
That's
see the fire in the back?
yeah,
It's fire right now. But I think that's good, bro. I think we've given up a lot of fire.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah. That's good.
went over an hour.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about your program and how people can
Yep.
find you. Tell me
Yep.
about like let's say like your elevator pitch for your program, and and then yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. So, well, if you guys don't know, I'm the owner of Not Fit University, where we help sales pros ultimately become the best version of themselves. Because it starts with your health. Once you can take care of your health, you show up better for the people around you. You have more energy. You have more confidence. You're gonna have 10 out of 10 relationships, and ultimately, you're gonna look sexier. If you're
Mm,
married, probably your wife's gonna love you a bit more because you're looking all, you're looking all good. She's gonna love you. So this is something that I do to change people's lives,
okay.
right? And there's many pieces of my program. It's data driven. So there's custom workouts, custom nutrition, daily accountability, traveling protocols. We have a doctor, right, to analyze what's going on inside your body, blood test protocols, right? Free travel gym passes. Like there's so many areas of it. Mindset, nutrition training, the community, it goes deeper. But ultimately, every person needs something different.
What's your flagship product? Your flagship.
I mean,
Your flagship. What is your main? What is the main? What is the main course? Let's say you have. Let's say you have a appetizer.
yeah.
You have the main course and then you have dessert, right? Like, what's the main course that you're offering?
Main course, workout structure, right? Also, the workout structure is also being able to adapt it based on people's lifestyle, especially when people travel. That way, they don't have to think and everything. I do the editing. Okay, you don't have a gym. Okay, hotel gym workouts. Okay, resistant band workouts. Okay, body weight workouts. I create the whole structure so they don't have to fucking think about it. They
Hmm.
just have to do, right? And then when it comes to nutrition, I'm teaching these guys how to understand to eat according to their lifestyle,
Hmm.
right? It's not oh, here's a freaking meal plan. I can still give somebody a meal plan, but I'm literally coaching guys on one-on-one calls. Okay, here are your three meals. You can have this is what you want. Cool. What are you eating for dinner? What are you eating for lunch? What are the snacks? We're creating a whole structure so they can follow based on their lifestyle. No matter what they do, it's better to teach a man how to fish so he can fish for a lifetime rather than me just give you the fish and you never understand how to fish.
Okay. And what's the appetizer and then what's the dessert when it comes to your program?
Appetizer is like you still get into my program, you still get the workout structure, you get the nutrition structure. You just won't get one-on-one coaching with me and accountability, but you still be in the community and you will still have a structure with your workouts and nutrition. You just won't have the one-on-one coaching call. That's kind of
Okay.
like the low ticket end.
Oh, okay, got you. So you do okay. So you give them like so it's like entry level, then immersive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
super
Yeah.
immersive. Like that's how you do
Yeah.
it. Okay.
There's two levels. Some people they might not need that much accountability, but they need the structures and system. Cool. Or maybe they're in a tough financial position. They just want to start off with this and it's better for them. Okay, cool. And then some people upgrade later on, right? Oh,
Yeah.
they realize they're starting, they got the structure. Damn, coach, I need more coaching from you. I need more accountability to understand more. And then they would just upgrade.
Mm.
But at least they're starting to work on themselves early on rather than not fucking doing anything at all because they're like, I can't afford it. I mean, like, people say that all the time, but like, bro, if you look at your life and analyze what you're spending money on, you probably could, because if it's important to you, you can find a way. When something that you've really, really wanted something, you're gonna get it. If you really want something, you're going to find a way to make it happen.
Hmm.
It's just about how much of it is a priority to you, and are you willing to commit to doing the work?
Okay. All right. So Kelvin, Tata, how do you say your name?
Yeah, Tata.
Tata, Kelvin
Yeah.
Tata. Oh man. So it's I think I can sum it up in this way for you. So Kelvin helps salespeople have more energy so that they can get
Yep.
more sales and they
Exactly.
can make more money
And
basically.
yep. If you want to
Okay.
sum it up quickly, that's pretty much it.
And then you're from where you from? You're from Africa?
Born and raised in Cameroon. Came here when I was,
Cameroon.
yeah, when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
I
Nice.
now live in Arizona. Moved out here a couple months ago because I built myself up to be able to move out of my mom's house, and now I'm in AZ making connections and living the fucking dream, baby.
Nice. Nice.